Hi, my name is Coco, and I will be leading you through a 60-minute yoga practice targeted on opening up the lower back and the upper back and just finding some fluidity. We'll be focusing on the element of water today. Water is essential to life. We're made up of water. So just trying to embrace that idea of being fluid in our transitions and fluid in our life. So meet me on your mat. And just right here and right now, sinking into your mat. Feeling the hips nice and heavy. Feel the fingertips spreading forward, finding that length in the spine and side body. Today, just calling upon the idea, the element of water, right? Water is fluid and soft and flexible and always moving. So today, just adding some fluidity to your practice. So here, as you're starting, just sinking back into your hips, maybe rocking side to side, bringing a little fluidity to the stiffness of our bodies as we wake up this morning. Yes. Maybe gently rocking the forehead on a block or the mat. And just settling in here. Taking a nice full deep breath in. Bringing it down to the diaphragm, feeling the belly fill. And exhaling it slowly with control. We'll do that 2 more times, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, getting nice and full, and then exhaling it out. Releasing whatever is not serving you right here and right now on the mat. 1 more time in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Coming back to your normal breath. Feeling the spine lengthen from the crown to the tail. Yes. And then walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Finding a nice side body stretch here. Maybe placing the left hand on top of the right. Sinking back into that left hip. Breathing into the side body here. Opening up. 1 more breath on this side. And then walk the hands through center, over to the opposite side. Taking the hands to the corner, maybe even off the mat, just finding what feels right for you. Maybe placing that right on top of the left, and then really sinking back into that right hip. Breathing into the intercostals. And then walking back through center for a few more breaths. Embracing the water elements to transform our stiffness in our body and our mind. Closing the mouth here and begin to switch on your Ujjayi breath. Breathing in and out through the nose with a slight gentle constriction of the throat. Sounding like a soft wave on the ocean. Bringing balance and calm to the body as we focus on our upper back, our lower back, and just finding this fluidity. 1 more breath here. And then we'll gently make our way up to tabletop position, all fours. Finding the wrist underneath the shoulders, the knees directly under the hips. Extending out through that neck. Finding that length from the crown to the spine, pulling that belly button in. And then exhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up, finding your cow pose. Following your breath, exhale, curl everything under, finding cat. Trying to feel kind of like a wave here, so moving with your breath, taking it slow or quick as you need. Yes, pushing out through those fingertips, keeping your connection to the earth, waking up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Yes. Two more rounds here. Yes. And then after that second round, getting a little creative, right? Water goes where it wants to go. So maybe continuing with your cat-cows here, or maybe you look over your right shoulder and your left shoulder, coming into little C shapes. Maybe you sink back on your hips and roll all the way forward. So just taking a few breaths of getting a little creative, right? Yes, very nice. We're made up mostly of water. So just tapping into that creative energy for one more breath. And then coming back to the tabletop position, feeling the core engaged here, the hands spread wide. On your next inhale, reach the right hand all the way up to the ceiling, and exhale, thread it down, bringing the chin or bringing the cheek down. Yes, maybe extending that top hand out in front of you. Nice, maybe lifting it up. Finding that creative fluidity here with your breath, right? So we're getting into a little bit more of a holding pose, but still have that moving energy go through you right here and right now. Breathing into any of the sensations that are arising and just noticing. Yes. Beautiful. Staying here, or for the next 3 breaths, taking it a little bit further. Maybe you wrap your hand around your back. Maybe you lift your leg. Maybe you stay right where you're at, and that's great. Breathing, noticing, and then letting go. Not holding on to the thoughts that aren't serving you. Not holding on to the tension in your body. One more breath. And then slowly bring your hand underneath your shoulder. Untwist, bringing that hand all the way back up to the ceiling, finding that nice twist, and then setting that hand down. Resetting here, finding your grounding again on the palms as the fingers spread wide. Then inhale, reach that left arm all the way up, and exhale, thread the needle, pulling the arm through, extending that opposite hand towards the front of the room. Yes. Like water, embracing impermanence here. As one pose dissolves into the next, as our breath helps us move, softening just like water. Yes, very nice. Bringing some softness to the face, maybe the toes here. Releasing any of the tension that you're feeling. Knowing that every pose is only held for a few breaths. Knowing that if you feel any pain, you can always back out. 3 more breaths here. Take it where you want. After that third breath, placing that right hand under the shoulder. Inhale, reaching that left hand high, finding that nice counter twist. And then exhale, bringing that hand back down. We're going to scoot our legs either to the right or the left, and we're just going to come onto our bums, coming to a nice, easy seated position here. Crossing at the ankles, finding our sit bones nice and rooted into the ground here. The crown of the head is up towards the sky. And then we're going to gently walk our hands behind us, our fingertips pointing to our body. And then we're just going to gently open up our heart towards the ceiling, taking our chin to the parallel with the nose. Opening up here. Careful not to crank the head too far back, but just broadening through the shoulders, broadening through the chest. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here. Feeling that connection with the earth as our sit bones are rooted down. And then slowly walk the hands back towards the body. Stacking the shoulders over the hips here. And then we're going to reach the hands all the way up. And then exhale, fold forward over those legs. Finding a nice rounding in the back, dropping the head. And then adding a little bit of motion here, just softly swaying side to side to open up the hips. To bring some calmness to the body. Tapping back into that Ujjayi breath here. In and out through the nose. Syncing up our movement with our breath. Nice, yes. 1 more breath here. And then rooting down into the sit bones, using your core, come all the way back up. Nice. We're going to switch our legs here. So whatever ankle was in front, bring the opposite in front now. Just to bring the balance to our body. We want to be loving to both sides. Yes. Nice. And then we're just going to start making big circles. So just coming forward, coming back, using the hands to help keep you in place. Being nice and heavy in the lower half here. Yeah. Taking your time or going as fast as you need. Just accentuating the movement here, trying to bring the fluidity of water. And then when you complete that circle, take it to the opposite side, gently coming forward. Yes, very nice. Maybe you hear your hips popping or anything. That's just the body saying hello. Beautiful. 1 more full circle. And then come back up to seated. We'll inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale, roll them down and back. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. And exhale, down and back. 1 more time. Inhale, shrug them up. And exhale, down and back. Beautiful. We'll take our gaze over our right shoulder. Careful to keep the shoulders nice and dropped away from the ears. Turning till you find your point of stretch. Breathing into the side of the neck here, maybe even the shoulder. Inhale through center and take it over to the left side. Dropping the shoulders away from the ground. Bringing your breath all the way down your spine to your tail. Feeling that opening in the chest here still. Inhale back through center, and then we'll just drop the chin to the chest here. Allowing the head to hang. coming back to the breath to help clear our minds. After the holidays and everything going on, there's so much busyness. One more breath here. And then we'll slowly roll our right ear towards our shoulder this time, opening up a little bit deeper in the neck. Yes. Inhale through center, roll the left ear towards the left shoulder. Inhale through center, and then exhale, slowly bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. Careful again not to crank your head back, but just taking the gaze up. Opening up through the throat for 3, 2, 1. Bringing the head back to center. Nice job. We'll dive the hands forward. Come back to our tabletop pose here. Finding our connection with the ground, spreading out through the fingertips. Yes, we'll curl the toes under, push back to downward facing dog, but keep the knees bent here. So we're just going to keep the knees really bent as we walk the dog, encouraging the tops of the thighs to come towards the ribs, dropping the head. Yes, very nice. And then we'll just find our normal downward dog, straightening the legs, encouraging the heels down towards the floor. It's okay if they don't touch. Spreading out through the fingertips here, dropping the head. Shaking the head yes a few times. Shaking the head no a few times. And then coming up onto your tiptoes here, we're going to gently walk, take as many steps possible as we walk to the front of our mat, towards our hands for forward fold. Nice. Beautiful. And then just hang in this forward fold for a few breaths, letting everything release out and down. Feeling the lengthening in the spine here. Feeling the backs of the hamstrings begin to open. Still finding that connection with the ground. All four corners are nice and rooted in. Maybe you're gently swaying here a little bit, side to side. Nice. And then rooting down into the feet, we're going to slowly rise all the way up to standing as slow as possible, having the head be the last thing that rolls up. Nice, yes. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms all the way up for extended mountain pose. Maybe bringing the hands to kiss in prayer above you. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Nice. We're going to take a nice wide-legged stance here, coming onto the side of our mat or whatever. And your toes can be a little bit pointed out if that feels good for you. And then we're just going to bring our left hand to our hip, and we're going to start making a big circle with our right arm. So just taking it nice and slow, making a big circle, opening up the shoulders here. If you have any shoulder injuries, just be mindful here. We'll take 3 circles, and then we'll take it to the opposite side, going back or forward, whichever way was opposite. Nice. And then after that 3rd circle, just bringing your hand to the hip, and then we'll take it to the other side. Be nice and slow and mindful, just opening up the shoulder girdle here. 3 towards the front, and then 3 towards the back. Yes. Very nice. Beautiful. And then when you're complete, bringing both hands to the hips here, we're gonna come down into a goddess squat, pointing the toes out to the side. The knees are over the ankles here. And then when we get there, we're just gonna bring our hands onto our knees for support, carefully stacking the shoulders over the hips here. And then we're just gonna dip the right shoulder down towards the earth. Inhale it up. Inhale, dip the left shoulder down. Exhale it up. We'll take it a couple more times on each side, just gently dipping our shoulders towards the midline. Yes, nice. One more time each side. And then gently straightening the knees, coming up into a nice star pose, reaching the arms up. Beautiful. And exhale, fold forward between the legs here, dropping the hands down to the ground or a block. Whatever feels comfy for you today, listening to your body and dropping the head. Nice. Yes. Two more breaths here, just releasing everything out. Feeling the edge of the feet still plugged into the earth, all four corners. And then gently bringing the hands to the hips and gently coming all the way back up to standing. Stepping to the top of your mat here. Inhale, lift up for extended mountain pose. And exhale, fold forward. Nice. Staying here for 2 breaths. Finding that fluidity. Syncing up with the breath. Nice. And now we're gently going to bring our hands onto our toes, slide them up our shins, all the way to the tops of our thighs here. And then we're going to inhale, lift up halfway, and gently pull the shoulder blades together as we really push at the thighs to extend the crown of the head forward. Nice. Staying here for one more breath. And then exhale, release down. Beautiful. Inhale, rise all the way up, extended mountain pose. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, your variation. And exhale, plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog. Yeah, maybe pedaling the feet out again, finding some fluidity, some mobility. Beautiful. Now we're going to slowly roll forward to plank pose. Kind of like a little wave. Yes, nice. And we're just going to hold this plank pose for a few breaths, finding that stability in the hands, pushing away from the mat, pulling the belly button in, extending through the crown as the heels push back towards the back of the room. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently lowering all the way down to the ground. Nice work. Nice. We'll bring the shoulder or the arms extended out to T here. We're going to bring our right cheek onto the ground. We're going to bend our left knee towards our bum and then gently let it come over to the right side of our body, coming into this floor scorpion, the shoulder opening. Yes. Breathing into the sensations here. Knowing that if you feel any pain, to back off. If you need to find your edge, then move where you need to go. We'll hold this for 3 more breaths. Yes. Finding that wave-like quality in our breath, our ujjayi, heating up the body, but also calming it down. Nice. One more breath here. And then gently roll back towards center. Windshield wipering the knees back and forth a few times. And then placing the left cheek on the ground, we'll take it to the opposite side. Bending the right knee towards the bum and then slowly dropping it over towards the left side of the mat. Spreading out through the fingertips here. Breathing into that shoulder girdle, the upper back, the twist in the abdomen here. Embracing the idea of impermanence. And just being right here in this moment right now. Knowing that you're doing a world of good for yourself. Maybe finding a little tranquility in the softness of your face and the softness of your fingertips for 2 more breaths. And after that second breath, gently unwinding. Wiggling the hips back and forth on the mat or windshield wipering your feet. Nice. And now we're going to gently bring the hands alongside the ribs really close into the body. The palms are facing down right underneath our shoulders. And we're going to inhale and come up for a baby cobra, keeping a nice bend in the elbows, broadening through the chest, and then exhale down. We're going to do it a couple times. So kind of think like a wave in the ocean. Inhale, rising, and then exhale, falling. Inhale, rising, exhale, falling. Opening up the lower back and the mid back here for 2 more cycles. I love the breath work. Last one. And then gently bringing the palms out in front of us into crocodile pose. The arms are bent and we'll just rest the forehead onto the palms. Onto the hands, I'm sorry. Staying here for a couple of breaths, just not doing anything, resetting the breath, relaxing as you melt into the ground. Beautiful. One more nice deep breath here. And then we'll slowly bring the hands underneath the shoulders, the elbows in, curl the toes under here, activate the thighs as you pull them off the ground. Inhale, push up to plank, and then downward facing dog. Nice. Pedal out the dog a few times.